Hey Nick, we need a tagline for the podcast.
No.
Real life opinions. Movie reviews told by fans and not critics.
Welcome to Real Life Opinions on Five Nights at Freddy's. Wahahaha!
And thanks to James for that awesome introduction.
Yes, thank you very much, James. Well, what's with this, Mike? We're doing a horror movie without Corey and Laura.
I find it fascinating. The two horror people that were pushing this couldn't make it, so now we're forced to review a horror movie.
Are we gonna crap on it the entire time?
I'll find something good to say. And we'll just make Laura review a Star Wars movie later on.
Yeah. Can we make her do Ewoks Cavern of Courage?
That's a movie?
That's a movie, yeah.
Okay. I just know the Endor one.
Oh,
or is it a
Battle
cartoon?
For Endor. No, it's live action.
Really? Wow.
There was two Ewoks movies.
Okay.
They were both equally terrible.
Equally rememberable. Okay. So
that's
five. Yeah, nice cough.
Yeah.
You got a rag?
Yeah, I was wiping on my shirt.
I got a mustache. That's okay. That's a filter. Filter for bad sneezes. So Five Nights in Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy.
Five Nights in Freddy. That sounds like a porno movie.
Yeah. What's the porno name? Hey, there's something. What's the porno name for this? I mean, there's Shaving Ryan's Privates.
Mm-hmm.
And what else have we got? But Five Nights with Freddy. Anyway, so this is a video game.
Yeah, this started off. That's why it was so popular.
In when
it came out. Well, The video game is probably, I'd say 5 years oldish, somewhere in there.
Okay.
It was actually like, you know how you've heard of Among Us, right? You haven't heard
of it?
Oh.
Like,
this was like the popular game before Among Us became the popular game for like a long time. Them horror games are actually making like a big.
I played a couple. I can't remember what it was on PlayStation Plus. There's a couple horror games that was kind of cool and they were interesting. I played not the Evil Dead, Resident Evil and stuff like that. But
what's my son big into? I think it's Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Dawn or Dead by Daylight? Yeah,
I think it's Dead by Daylight.
Yeah,
he gets to be like. He can be multiple slashes. He can be like Freddy Krueger. I probably have the name of this game wrong.
Yeah.
But he can be like Freddy Krueger or Leatherface. Or he can be like an original character. So, we should talk about this backstory for half a moment here, eh?
Well, this is arguably the best part of the movie. I mean, it's got great setup potential for it. I mean...
I feel like it belongs in a different movie. I don't think it belongs in this movie. Like, I understand that you have to, like, create, like, an emotional connection with your characters. But this is a stupid, dumb movie about animatronics that kill people. Do we really need the tragic backstory?
Well, I mean, okay, it was one of the parts I like about it, but they've got, like, they start off with this layer of why is this young adult with this young girl? We assume it's a father-daughter. Nope, that's wrong. They're brother-sister. And, well, how do we explain that now? Where's the parents? Where's all this stuff? And the only way to... And I like this part because it creates the most emotionally touching part to this. Otherwise, it becomes disconnected and I've got no reason to enjoy it. But this also could be the reason why I don't like it, because they've set me up emotionally and then there's no real emotional...
That's why I say it belongs in a different movie.
Maybe the animatronics belong in a different movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That lawyer, that look on his face the whole time while that BICTH is talking, he's just uncomfortable. Like,
what's the point of him as a character, as an actor? What's the point of him?
I think he is the closest thing they have to comedy relief in here. Like when when she's talking about all the felonies she's paying those people to do, and he's like, "I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here."
So she's like a low tier Cruella DeVille. You know, she's not even at Cruella's level. It's just like, I want my niece so that I can get this $700 a month from the government.
Yeah, like I don't think you realize how much it costs to
But
raise
I'm
a
going to pay
child.
$2,000 or $1,000 for these people to go ransack whatever. It's just like, there's no logic to it other than she's just an evil Disney villain and wants to ruin his life.
Yeah, that's totally why she exists.
Which I
in the
would have
movie.
preferred that as a motivation, that she just hates him because he
But
did something to make her sister not like her. I don't know.
She's needed there to provide motivation for him to take the job, and I don't think he would have taken a nighttime job if not for her motivating him to take this. But you know,
Yeah, they could have created that motivation several different ways. I mean, as the need for the aunt, it's bigger than that, but not much.
yeah.
You know, it's bigger than that, but not deeper.
Sometimes, you know, I like to think that we move past this in movies, that we just have a despicable character to have a despicable character, but we try
Don't
to
get me
have it.
started on that. Oh my god, every villain's got to be endearing or have a tragic backstory or whatever. Just
Not every villain needs to have a tragic backstory, but like they also don't need to be just like needlessly an asshole either. Like have him be a person.
well, wait a minute here. There is a place for them. Darth Maul was needlessly an asshole, but he was fucking cool.
He was,
You know,
this aunt ain't fucking cool.
Okay, she's mildly cute for a 50-year-old. You know, you put some makeup on her.
Mildly, like
You know,
yeah, she holds her age up well. I guess.
yeah, I bet you. You know, it's Hollywood. So,
what? Why would anybody take this job?
well,
This
what's
is
the
creepy.
point to this? Well, we know the point to the job is that this obvious deep big villain that has been purely slapped in our face. I'm the villain.
Oh yeah,
disguised as a counselor.
We should preface spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Like
We're gonna spoil this poor movie.
yeah, sorry guys. And the reason we're gonna spoil it is because it's so blatantly obvious, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You see Matthew Lillard show up on the screen like he's the bad guy.
And like instinctively when I see him, I assume that because of the reputation he has with horrors, and we know he's a beloved horror fan, and horror people tend to like him. But when he's sitting there, as soon as he opens his mouth, it's like condescension,
Yeah,
dripping with it. It's just like, yeah, you're a dick.
It's pretty thinly veiled that he's going to be the big bad guy.
Yes.
I don't think Matthew Lillard's we've talked about this in nausea about how like some people are good actors and some people play good characters. Matthew Lillard is one of those people like I enjoy the Matthew Lillard character that he plays.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good actor, but like it's his variations of Scooby-Doo or Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, right?
I can't argue that. I mean, I would love to see him in something endearing and emotional and deep, but I just haven't seen it.
You know, it probably exists. You know,
He probably saw an art film he did in college.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, he never went to college. No, he dropped out of college. I think. I can't remember. I also want to say that Matthew Lillard as a human being seems like a wonderful, fantastic human being. So I've seen him in a couple of talks and interviews. He seems to have a beauty within him that
I can agree with that.
Yeah. But again, I've only seen very little of him, and
I feel like I should know who his wife is. You know who his wife is?
no, I have no idea who his wife is.
That's gonna have to take a Google because I feel like he's married to someone famous, and you'd be like,
which would make sense.
She's married to him. Like, Yeah, famous people marry famous people, right?
How do you spell his last name?
Lill.
Lillard.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow, we're just like gonna thinly veil this as much as we can. That we're
Holy cow, he's a year younger than me.
Wow, he looks way better than you, Mike.
Uh,
Well,
he's
you've got your ruggish good looks, Mike. I'm not gonna lie.
sorry, I think we got very similar nipples. I got a better mustache than he does. Heather Helm.
Oh, maybe I don't know who Heather Helm is. Do I know Heather Helm?
She's married to Matthew Lillard.
No, I thought he was married to someone a little bit more famous. Than
She
that.
went to La Canada High School, so she's
La
Canadian.
Canada. Really? That's what it's called? La
La
Canada?
Canada with a little squiggly over the end.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Man, I thought he was like married to someone like Sarah Michelle Gellar or something like that.
No, that's douchebag. A junior. Freddie Prinze.
Oh, Freddie
Do you know who his dad is?
Freddie Prinze Sr.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
No,
Other than Senior.
I don't know
Other
who
than
Freddie Prinze Sr.
Chico and the Man?
Before my time.
He's Chico.
Before my time, dude.
Yeah. His
I
father
bet-
was Chico. That's how he got in a bit. That was a little helping nepo. So
It doesn't hurt to have a famous dad.
no, it doesn't. That died young. Well. Anyway.
So we talked about before the podcast about how there's a movie called Willy's Wonderland. Very similar.
Okay.
Willy's Wonderland, so Five Nights at Freddy the video game came out, then Willy's Wonderland came out, and then this movie came out. So this movie is after the release of that movie, but technically Willy's Wonderland was probably based and inspired on Five Nights at Freddy.
Okay.
You want to talk about the children?
Yeah, I was going to say, what this movie does, it keeps setting me up to say, hey, we're going to get good now. and this is what I liked about the beginning is, okay, we had this flashback dream sequence to set up why this character is troubled and all this stuff. And then they elevate it the next time, they change something. Then all of a sudden he becomes his grown-up self in the flashback. And then they bring in these 5 kids, which I think, okay, I was really excited to see this evolution with this backstory that it peaked right about now.
Yeah.
So, it's just
the second flashback is where it peaks.
Yes, yeah.
Half dozen times.
But there was
see the
so
flashback.
much potential there. I'd also like to add, I really like this the actor. Do you remember his name?
Josh Hutcherson.
Yes, he's most famous for Hunger Games.
Yes.
The not good-looking guy in Hunger Games.
Yeah, he's the makeup artist, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was a tough aspect to his character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to the Hunger Games, and
I'm a makeup artist.
you give me an hour and a half, I'm ready.
So I was watching this with my son.
Okay.
Do you know who the waiter is in this scene?
Blue's Clues. I have no
No.
idea. I was just a random.
Have you ever seen Game Theory or Movie Theory or whatever theory guy?
I recognize some of those. There's a couple.
He's a pretty famous YouTuber.
Okay.
His tagline is, "That's just a theory, a film theory, or a video game theory."
Okay.
His name's Matt Pat, but I'm watching it and he says "Oh, that's just a theory." And then he walks off, and I looked at my son. And I was like, "Is that a YouTuber?" And my son goes, "Yeah, this is a YouTuber."
Oh, okay.
This was clearly a movie made for Gen Z.
Yeah, which
It's a very Gen Z. It's got 2 YouTubers in it. The black taxi cab driver is a YouTuber that actually plays the Five Nights at Freddy's. And then Matt Pat, who I've seen a couple times, he does video game theories on Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
This is probably the first movie I've ever seen that YouTube stars are treated like movie stars or like cameos.
That's fascinating because, my son and I, Logan, we've been talking about movie genres and they're missing stuff and they're constantly trying to shit on our generation and rehash. Let's make another sequel. Let's make another whatever instead of playing on what it is. And now this is a great attempt. The attempt was great, not the product. At trying to work on that, but they fail, in my opinion, to really play on that, unless the Gen Zers, because they have a mentality that I don't comprehend.
Some of the movies I would have watched when I was a teenager would be considered rubbish by today, Jeffrey. So, like, they're obviously the Gen Zers are the ones that drove the popularity of this movie.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's not big enough or good enough to make an impact on society, right? I mean, we're drowning in superhero movies and all this other flashy stuff. So.
There is an argument to be made that Five Nights at Freddy's video game is a very culturally important, but it wouldn't be culturally important to you and me.
Yeah.
It would be like Logan or Nick. It would be culturally important to them, right?
And I respect that because, like I mean, I always say to my son, they're not making movies for me anymore. But I mean, and then we have stuff like this, and it might be the perfect attuned to whatever. But I can't believe storytelling has fallen off to that degree. I mean, you still have to tell a story. There still has to be an arc, a thread, a character development, and all this other stuff. And sometimes it just feels like, oh, he fell off his chair and cut his arm.
Yeah, the art of the
storytelling.
Well, like blockbusters have kind of ruined movies. Like simple stories aren't told anymore, right? Or they're not popular anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been really looking back. What were some of the not super big movies, but big movies that made it through? We all enjoyed. Like Cobra. Remember Cobra?
That's
Sylvester Stallone,
right?
With the 1941 Mercury.
I don't remember that being dripping in like character development.
No, it wasn't. It was basic. You were given enough character to feel that, Cobretti changed his name from Marion to Cobretti because it was a very feminine name. He didn't like it. And he had a little bit of trauma somewhere, and he shot some big guns and drove fast cars.
That was all we needed.
That was what the movie. It was a kind of a John Wick type thing. It had 2 or 3 elements. They focused on them, and they gave us really strong in those elements.
I had started talking about
shoehorns.
No, this is a back scratcher.
Oh no, I was thinking about the cop.
Oh, how she shoehorned into here?
Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Bless her heart, she's at least adorable.
Acting lessons. Sorry.
I was talking about Willy's Wonderland earlier.
Yeah.
And the reason why that movie works for me and this movie doesn't is because they don't focus on the backstory. They don't focus on any of that. They take that stuff out, and it's just the unadulterated chaos. They realize that it's a dumb story, and you don't need this, right? You don't need... There's some movies where it's the art of storytelling, and then there's some movies where it's the dumb fun of an animatronic trying to murder people.
Was that a horror as well?
Yeah, it's a horror action.
What's it called again?
Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland. It's a horror, right?
Yeah.
What horror tropes does it follow?
I'm
just thinking about that.
So it's basically the same horror tropes as this one, only like it's a little scarier. The animatronics come to life, just like this one, right?
Okay.
And they're possessed by dead children, just like this one.
All right.
This security guard is like trying to keep people out, making sure people don't get murdered in there. So like it's the supernatural threat of these mechanical evil robots.
Okay. Does this security guard end up tying in some relationship with bad guy?
No.
Big bad? No?
Nope,
I mean,
not at all.
Well, see, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Like, why does it all need to tie back into itself, right?
Yeah.
The main protagonist has
She is the happiest cop I've ever seen in the United States.
well, and she's breaking into a building.
And he's just totally going with it. It's like, okay, you're hot. So come on in, play with all these gadgets and whatever.
Why wouldn't you be more suspicious? Be like, what are you doing here, lady? Well, I'm a cop. No, but why are you here? Why is there a cop
You cut your
inside
arm.
of you?
I had to fix your arm.
How did you know my arm got cut?
You can see the blood on your hand. Yeah, no, I know. It's just like, and that's easy being the, oh yeah, I like the badge thing. You gotta have the badge.
There's a bunch of fake badges in the back. Is
Yeah.
of all the dead, dead security guards from before?
So who guards this during the day?
Nobody.
So when Doofus and Mayhem break in here later, how the hell could you even remotely blame him?
Well, because he left a door unlocked.
Because that little lattice fence they pulled in front of the opening.
Yeah, the impenetrable lattice fence.
Yeah. It's treated, right? So it's just like, okay.
You can break it with a small hammer, or it's an impenetrable one.
Which they did break in during the day.
Oh, yeah, he's literally got a crowbar in his hat.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, so just to fill you in, this is when the evil Cruella de Vil aunt pays this group like $1,000 plus whatever they can haul out of this to come in here and trash the police.
For $700 a month to take care of a kid that's going to cost more than $700 a month to raise.
Yeah. Heaven forbid she doesn't. Well, maybe she'll be homeschooled. Save your taxes there.
I don't. What do you think? What do you think you feed kids? Like, is she just gonna?
Well, they can live a long time off mac and cheese, tomato soup.
I'm gonna buy $50 of mac and cheese and $25 of
Costco,
soup.
get a better deal.
You think Cruella de Vil shops at Costco? I think she shops at Costco for her niece, and then she shops at, like, I don't know, Whole Foods or something expensive like that for herself, right? Like, I'm gonna get the organically free range chicken eggs, and you're going to have a box of ramen noodles, okay? The cupcake? Are you pointing at the cupcake?
The cupcake. That one kind of threw me because I wasn't. I kind
You
of
weren't expecting an evil cupcake?
So we've got 4 full-bodied animatronics and a cupcake. Is that correct?
Why is the cupcake the one tripping you up here?
Well, just because it has no vehicle of transportation, but it does. Anyway, like it flies through space, and it's just like everything else. Okay, I'm gonna walk over to you and tear you apart.
Sometimes the movie's got a movie.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Addams Family?
Yeah.
Well, how does Thing get around? Like, I guess he does walk, but he, like, jumps all over the place.
Yeah.
But how does he jump, like, 20 feet?
Well, no, we're not talking that. We're talking about the cupcake.
The cupcake can, like...
It jumps through the air without
bounces.
any limbs.
But
Was it, like, lowers its gelatinous density and then springs up with a quick bake?
The chicken was holding it, to be fair. Maybe the chicken, like, gave it a little...
Oh, that's true.
Matt, this would give me nightmares, though. Like
when I was 8.
Some giant
the wiping
bunny.
bloody hand on the window. I mean, you know, they're doing the whole don't show to be afraid of what you can't see too hard. And it's just like, I haven't seen anything. The music seems fine, but it's just like the buffoonery is just, I don't know.
They kind of. So if you wanted to make this actually scary, you wouldn't show the animatronics doing this, and you would leave that to a mystery to the end.
Yeah.
If you were to do this properly. Here they're just like blatant, like, hey, yeah, we got evil animatronics. You should just see like mysterious creatures attacking these things. And then at the end, when they attack, that's when you're like, oh shit, it's actually them.
Yeah, they should have played that up, and they were always on their stage until the big climax.
Yeah.
And that would have played better. So, I mean, I like the idea of the Chuck E. Cheese thing. I don't know.
It's an interesting concept, but this movie didn't think of it.
Oh, the door. Is this the one where the door actually doesn't open? But later on, he only pushed the door to open it 5 times. He didn't realize that later on, when the other guy pushes on it 6, it opens. He needs to push 6 times, and then it automatically opens.
Why would you still be here? The whole place is trashed, and like people are dying all over the place, and you're just like still hanging out here. I'd be like gone.
There's another interesting thing. This is the girl that's been babysitting his little sister.
Yeah.
So what motivated you to spy for Aunt by absolutely befriending this little girl? And I mean, I wish she was a crackhead or something. It would make sense if she was like
she needs the money so hardcore that she's got
or
a drug issue.
something, or she's the disowned niece or something. But it was just like there's no real. Like the doofus that broke into, that makes sense. He hired his biker uncle and whatever. But I mean, we've given too much. Oh, okay. I see a creepy giant monster, so I'm going to put a chair and get right in close and look at it.
Yeah, why would you get your head that close to it?
Yeah, oh, man.
Like, I am never getting that close to an animatronic ever in my life. I'm impressed with the clean snap off of her head, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is impressive.
So I feel like the plot didn't do a very good job. He brings his sister the next night, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really explain that, like you. I guess you don't need it, but like he makes it sound like it was his idea, like, oh, bring her along. But in reality, he didn't have a fucking babysitter.
That's right, because she lost her head.
So why don't you just say, I'm forced to bring you because I don't have a babysitter? Instead, you make the
why lie to a child in that sense?
Why make yourself look like a doofus protagonist? Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna bring my childhood sister with me to work. Just no, I'm forced to do this. I have no other option. And then you just start bringing her just cuz.
Yeah, another thing. Oh man, and another thing. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Corey and Laura, but it's all on you. You did this. I'd like to point that out. I like that. Okay, let's leave my my disturbed sister here alone while we go out have a theoretical smoke. Oh my God, this is leading up to another scene I hate. Wait till we get there.
Young sister, this cop that I guess Matt's hot. Okay, I'm gonna go with her. Okay, I'm sorry that hottie cop is in front of me.
Yeah,
but like
Oh, and she pulls out his sleeping pills. Take note. Hey, look what I found. They broke in, so your sleeping pills clearly that crowbar didn't do anything. Because there's no evidence of that crowbar the guy was carrying. You must have left a door open with these sleeping pills. Because I'm a beat cop, not a high-level detective. But I'm going to get there someday.
How?
I love the scenery here, though. This is like Townhouse. Really shows their economic level. That speaks to me. Sitting by this waterway, whatever. That's really nice scenery here.
That's Storm Creek.
Is that what it is?
People that live
That's
beside
right. I should have conferred to you.
Yeah.
Conferred to you.
Yeah, what's this waterway over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, people that normally have that backing onto their property is not normally a higher socioeconomic situation.
It reminds me of that. There was a game, Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. I feel like I've heard of that, but I am not recalling it.
Yeah. I'll tell it to you. It's a video game that was back. Oh, fuck, I hate this scene. Sorry. I'll go back to Heavy Rain, but this is when she throws up pills.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
She's got no consideration for like how much drugs cost in America.
Oh, that's right. You know, and this was I don't know how well Obamacare is. Anyway, Heavy
I
Rain.
hear it's terrible. I hear it's like the worst.
I guess I don't know compared to what they had before. I don't know. Anyway, Heavy Rain was this fantastic horror movie, and it was this dad that
Horror movie?
Video game. Sorry,
Okay,
video game.
like, I think I've heard of
It needs to be a movie, in my opinion. But it was an interactive video game. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records for having more lines of code than any other game in history. It might be overdone by now.
Yeah, I feel like that's no longer the case.
It might be no longer the case. But it was
how old is it?
PlayStation 2?
Oh yeah, it's blown out of the water by now, guarantee.
Or 3. Might have been 3. Might have been early 3. Might have been one of those sales pitch
There's
for 3.
a chance it might still be there.
It was a great thing. It was about the origami killer, and you had lost focus on your one son. He wanders into the street and he was abducted, and you never get to see your son again. But your other son, you're focused on him. Your wife leaves you because you've lost this, and they live in this townhouse that reminded me of. And you get to play all these.
Oh, we didn't really talk about the socioeconomic, like you were pointing out with the townhouses, hey?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's what that scene reminded me of, just for the pills.
Mm-hmm.
These townhouses and all that. It was just like, looks like a subsidized townhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And they were being evicted?
I think it said final notice.
Final notice? So they were paying rent of some sort?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard Rain sounds vaguely familiar. Heavy Rain.
There's like there was
Hard Rain was a Dennis Quaid movie, wasn't it? A Randy Quaid movie.
I think so. Heavy Rain was famous for having I think there was 18 possible endings, and you could play it so that you had choices at every turn and every level. You could choose to run, you could choose to bargain, you could choose to fight. There's actually a scene where there's it's an adult where you're playing the reporter at one point. You play like 4 or 5 characters, and you're playing this female reporter trying to get information from this slime guy. So you're trying to convince him and tease him, and you can go through and do the whole strip tease until you're almost totally nude, and then get the information that way. Or you could go halfway through the strip tease and use a different method to knock him out.
I gotta stop you for half a moment.
Okay.
So, what? I get why he brought his sister the first night, because the babysitter's dead. But what a terrible fucking decision on his part, first of all. Right? Like, just find a babysitter, right? Maybe, I guess that's your only choice, but when you seen the animatronics tickling her, were you thinking the worst?
No, because I felt like the movie wasn't setting me up for that. But if I saw my son being tickled by a 6.5 foot tall robot, I'd be a little freaked out too.
I'd be pretty concerned.
Yeah.
It made me really confused. See, this is why they shouldn't have shown them murdering all those people and then have this scene. Like, you had this scene before that, and then it murders all those people. Now, that'd be set. That'd make some sense, right? But you're like, you already know these things are fucking evil.
Well, no, not now. Their eyebrows tilted the other way.
Oh, yeah.
So they're nice now.
Yeah, as long as the eyebrows are up.
the right way.
Not down.
The middle up, outsides are down, then they're nice.
Yeah. If they're down towards the nose, the frown is down, you're dosed.
Yeah. There's also something else I've noticed. Oh man, I should save it for when it happens. I'm kind of. Oh wait. The drawings.
The drawings.
Is there any? Let's do it this way. Has anything been addressed about drawings?
So like
the pictures?
You've seen them at this point, like, but they haven't really touched on them. Like, you've seen them at the school.
We got the wall,
and like here, he's looking at the pictures right now. Actually, as you're talking about it,
his little sister draws all the time and draws these characters. And we just discovered that she's been drawing these 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Or these 5 monsters. Sorry, 5 monsters or robots. Prior to going there. This is the first time we realized there's...
poltergeist possessed animatronics.
See, I think there's a line in there later that says it's not just their souls, it's their bodies.
Oh, man, like, I hate that. I hate that thought that, like, the bodies are inside these fucking things. Like,
yeah.
How many security guards do you think is in the body of that teddy bear?
I didn't even want to go into that. I didn't like. What's the point of that paste? Just turn him into a paste?
I don't know. I
mean,
I thought it was like, okay, it's going to put the body inside of it, but then it's like whirling. I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah. Just gonna grind you up into a paste, and your soul will be in that paste and help motivate this one monster. Did we do the broomstick scene already? Snap! I missed that.
I don't think
so. With the female cop. Okay.
I don't think we've seen it yet.
Oh, okay. That's another. I'll get to that.
I think that's.
How does she? Okay.
I think that's the second night with the sister coming.
Okay.
I didn't touch on it earlier, but what a refreshing take on that, having it be the sister instead. Like I like that idea.
Rather than a daughter?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I like that dynamic, that element.
Mm-hmm.
Just they didn't play on it so much. I mean,
they've done it before in other movies, but it's almost always exclusive the older sister taking care of the kids. It's very seldom that you see that it's the older brother,
younger sister.
Yeah.
I do find it very interesting his behavior with his sister. I mean, they start up right away, and you can see that he'll take any shit from her whatsoever because of his guilt, because of,
and that had to have been hard on a kid, right?
Oh, absolutely. To lose your, that's an interesting thing. Why are we so focused on that?
On the yellow rabbits?
Yeah.
It's like it's foreshadowing something coming into the...
Yes, and that cop looks so distraught.
Why aren't you asking, why is this fucking cop here? Why aren't you asking yourself that question? He shows up to work and the cop's sitting there. Why are you hiring a security guard if the cop's just going to be there all the time, right?
Well, yeah.
What's the state is paying for it.
Yeah, leave it locked up.
Yeah.
It
Have
doesn't
the police
run.
come by.
Yeah.
Should have been torn down.
Oh, yeah.
The second the animatronics become, bloodthirsty, that's when you shut a place down, right? And destroy it.
Yeah.
That's what I did with my last franchise that I had that had bloodthirsty animatronics. I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to tear the building down. We'll be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, man.
Haven't ever happened to one of the Chuck E. Cheese you owned?
Yeah, no. I've only been to Have you ever been to Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh, once, and the pizza was terrible.
Yeah, same thing. We took Logan there once just because I felt like, we should go there. That one in Edmonton in South Common. Mm-hmm. It's just like, okay.
My wife used to take my oldest there quite a bit, and they only ever managed to bring me the one time, and I was excited because I don't know if it was like this for you, but I remember the Chuck E. Cheese commercials when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this place looks like the coolest place in the world, and then I went as an adult, and I'm just kind of like, yeah.
Oh, here it is. Is this the scene I'm thinking of? Yeah.
The broomstick.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Why? Don't touch that! When I hear, I'll show you why. How do you know why, miss? Look at this.
Why didn't you, throw that thing in the trash or something like that?
Yeah. What is the point of having an animatronic that with a spring loaded
Just
car.
leave it closed.
What was it? What did it do when it opened? Like its chest would open up, you'd see the gaping innards of this giant robot, and kids back in the day would go, "Oh, look, it's beating, gyrating gear of a heart." So what?
Well, we already established that people will stick their heads inside of the mouths of these things, right?
Yes, but it's just like,
look, Mike, it's a stupid movie. It's a stupid.
Yeah. That it is. I mean, this cop keeps every corner. She's going, oh, she'll be fine. Oh, she's a great kid. They'll love her. And every time here's another death trap. Careful there. Oh, this is another death trap. Careful there.
Yeah, why do you know about all these? Like, why isn't he suspicious about her?
Yeah.
I guess he is at this point. Right?
Oh my God, don't touch the guitar. Why not? Why would you think that would be electrified? What's it?
Why would it?
Oh my God, don't touch that. Why not? It's just a guitar.
If this cop was actually good at her job, he would have showed up to work and she would have been like, hey, I'm going to take your sister home and I'm going to babysit her.
Absolutely. And even, as we find out later, her motives or whatever you want to do
but we already
still make sense.
We already
for her to
spoiled
do
the
the
big
same
bad
thing.
guy, so you can have a spoiler about her motives.
Well, her motives are, she had made a promise that she would guide the right people and keep them safe or keep them there and feed the big bad guy, basically.
Yeah, it's
And taking the little girl home, allowing the big bad guy to have him would have sufficed her thing, unless, well, later on, I don't know at what point the big bad guy. Oh, okay, I've talked myself into a little issue. Knowing the backstory of the bad guy, that almost makes sense now.
there's smoke coming out of your ears, Mike.
Well, I mean, okay. I mean that aspect kind of makes sense, but I mean, again, why would he do that? Why would he follow him throughout his life and just to do whatever? What's the motivation?
Has he really followed him throughout his life?
Well, or is this random reconnection?
I think
You're the guy that I know your brother.
I think it's random reconnection.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe he followed him. I took it as random reconnection, but
Yeah,
like,
I did too. And then it's just like, oh my God, that's you.
how? Yeah, it's stupid. It's a stupid.
His last ditch is to call Cruella DeVille to babysit the daughter. And
I don't think this is a babysit visiting. I think this is like I'm gonna sign your paperwork, lady. Please don't skin all my Dalmatians.
I don't think so, because I think his plan is he might not be coming back because he went to get because we got this underdeveloped dream thing. He's reading this book about dream theory.
I think the dream theory thing is ridiculous. Like,
Well, that's what I mean, underdeveloped. Like, there was potential there to have this Freddy Krueger type element where there's a connection, but they don't really develop it.
They kind of started off at the beginning when he
Yeah.
oh, look, I've cut myself, right?
Yeah. Which is, you wake up and you have this dream you ate a giant marshmallow and your pillow's gone.
I think it's a vehicle for the guilt of losing his brother.
Yeah.
I think that's why it exists. But it's a movie about murderous animatronics. I don't think it needed this. And if you were going to do that, it should have been a different movie.
See, if you kept the animatronics, like you say, hidden away, unseen, maybe a shadow and this and that, then focus more on this.
Yeah,
the kids being part of the animatronics makes more energy with it or
Yeah.
whatever. I
But
don't want to say sense.
You
but,
make these creepy kids kind of the threat, right? And then it turns out that they're possessing the animatronics. It's kind of like, as soon as you see them, you're like, yeah, obviously these kids are in control of the animatronics.
Yeah, and they give too much away, and it's just like having these kids. Maybe they shouldn't have been kids. Maybe they should have been something else. Like he's almost leaning into a Kubrick stare, just slightly, But and they're trying to say, "Hey, I tell you what, we'll give you a happy, warm feeling for the rest of your life if you just give us your daughter or your sister."
Oh,
Is that what
I really dislike this one part where it's just like, well, just give us Abby.
Yeah.
Just give us Abby. Okay. And
Yes.
then, like, why? I don't understand why the guilt of losing one sibling would lead you to give up another sibling.
Oh my god, that leads into so many other terrible tropes.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I totally agree. I mean, in order to ease my guilt, I'm gonna do the same thing I did before.
Well, he's not even doing the same thing before. He had no control the first time.
Well, no.
Now he does, right? Like,
And he's gonna.
this is way worse than what you actually did.
Yeah.
I guess you could argue he was tricked into it.
Yes, and then and we got another scene coming up that I had issues with. And I mean, I get it. We're in the mystic world, the world between worlds, or whatever you want to call it. And he's in this wide open field with no brush, and these kids are running in. There's no way you cannot not see these kids.
Maybe the speedy kids. The speedy kids. They're not very tall. They're out of his eyesight. They're too short. They're below his eyesight. Okay.
Well, come on. He's not a tall actor either. I mean, we've seen him next to
taller
Liam
than your
Hemsworth.
average kid.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh, and here we are.
See, if it focused on stuff like this,
God! And it's the same nut that the first guy didn't quite get out. Oh my god!
They could have this kind of stuff. They could have made it like a Saw-like movie with that kind of stuff.
Well, that's what I was thinking of at the beginning. I thought, oh, this kind of have a Saw element with a bit of a Freddy Krueger type thing.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, there's possibilities here. Ooh, there we go. Why are they keeping the bodies again?
I hate to stuff into more animatronics.
But I thought the kids were the animatronics, not the adults.
Well, the bodies of the kids are... Yeah, I don't know now that I think about it.
I mean...
The bad guy doesn't really have any motivation.
No, he doesn't. No, it's...
Oh, you'll be happy to know he's not empathetic.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
You are not sympathizing with him at all. Nor should you be.
Here's another thing, just on that last bit. Don't introduce something you need to explain and then not explain it.
Yeah.
I mean...
What do you think? You think he needed a backstory?
Who?
Like the Yellow Rabbit?
No, that's for Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Yeah, how are they gonna...
No, you don't make a movie without some sort of a backdoor plan, just in case.
Well, you know what? This movie was popular enough that I bet you they will make a sequel.
Yeah, and...
second YouTube cameo. Apparently this is a guy that plays video games on YouTube. Could you imagine? Hey, I'm going to, as a hobby, film myself playing video games.
Oh my god.
And then eventually that leads to, like, making money, which is wild to me.
I don't...
And then eventually it leads to a major movie production being like, hey, comes...
I don't get it. I mean, there's...
It's not for us to get, Mike.
I'm on TikTok and I struggle so hard to stay away from this toxic garbage, and but there's like, oh my god, these acne infested kids that are like gotta be barely 20, and they're critiquing and analyzing movies and saying the profound nature that one movie has and doesn't have no freaking clue. They think that okay, this is not me being me, that Marvel is nothing but masterpiece after masterpiece. And it's just like, oh my god, it just baffles my mind.
People that talk about movies on the internet are the worst kind of people.
Yeah, I agree. Thank God we're not on the internet.
Thank God we're not on the internet. Well, thank God nobody listens to us.
Well, that's kind of the point, right? We're all in your head. This is not on Spotify. This is all in your head. It's all an imagination. And now, of course, this big bear can go anywhere it wants. It jumps into the cab, and
how does the cabbie not fucking call the cops on that? Like,
how does the cabbie not get out and run away?
Yeah,
and leave his cabbie? He's like, "Fuck this shit, man."
What? Why is he surprised by the bear? How'd the bear get there in the first place? Like, I guess assume the cab drove the bear there.
And who paid?
Right? Like,
did they pay in
the
Chuck E. Cheese dollars? Or what?
Well, thank you for these coins from that abandoned play place. Yeah, these are going to be super useful to me.
And here's the wall of drawings, which only very soon
creepy as fuck
become an element of mysticism and change and magic. Yeah, their shadows are much more creepy than them.
The muffin's pretty creepy.
Yes, yeah. Well, the shadow of the muffin wouldn't be very creepy.
Yeah, the muffin itself.
Yeah,
is like
that would have been a nice thing to have elementally just dropped randomly. How'd the muffin get here?
Yeah, right.
Or is it? Is it a cupcake or a muffin? I think it's far too healthy.
What's the difference between a cupcake and a muffin, really?
Well, I would say sweet savory would be the best comparison.
So
I would say.
We have chocolate. We got double chocolate
but I mean,
muffins upstairs.
In essence, a muffin is not necessarily designed originally in nature to be sweet. It's usually a brand. It's something healthy. Now we've added chocolate because we know how to destroy healthiness. Throw in something good. It's just like, a donut is typically designed to be a sweet treat, but yet we put bacon on it and it works.
Oh my god. I miss the bacon maple donuts.
Hey, you know what?
The worst way. Good night, Dad. Good night, James.
Good night, James.
That was well, and apparently my phone's not on silent either.
Speaking of bacon, over Christmas holidays, I've seen this chocolate chip recipe, and I thought, oh fuck, I can make chocolate chips for Kathy and Logan. I'm going to do some of my own bacon, doing the dad stuff. And I went and I made it, and I said, wait a minute. We got about 8 strips of bacon we never left over. So I chopped it all up, put it in the chocolate chip cookies. Oh my God, that was so good. Oh man.
Genius.
Oh,
genius.
It was just like, yes, it was. And they were perfectly cooked cookies too. They were still soft, not crumply.
You got to find that perfect balance, right? Like you can't have it crumbly and crunchy, but you can't have it too soft, right? You got to have like the perfect soft crumble ratio.
A cookie by nature is best within 10 minutes out of the oven.
Well, this is true, yes.
Yeah, especially if there's chocolate and whatever. But by nature, cookies should not be hard.
Are you a cow patty fan of a chocolate chip cookie?
Do
you not know what I mean by a cow patty one?
I've not heard that.
That's like the really flat,
thin chunk ones that are shatter.
Well, if you get them out of the oven quick enough, they're soft.
Well, yeah, but you give them 20 minutes to cool, then they become, and they're dark brown on the bottom. Because you were
that's a cow patty.
I hate those.
Those ones are delicious fresh out of the oven. There's that perfect sweet spot where they're still soft, and oh yeah.
But a day later, 2 days later, a cookie cannot be that hard.
Well, this is true.
Otherwise, I know somebody that likes to cook their cookies. I bet you about 3 minutes too long, and they're so proud of their cookies, and they're so awesome, and it's just like, God damn, I hate these damn things. If there wasn't chocolate in them, I wouldn't eat them. And, I dip them in my rum, and away we go. So
I don't know if I've had a rum dip cookie before.
that was all I had. I had to soften them somehow.
This duck's kind of creepy.
So okay, we're at the point. We're at the final night here, and we got the. So now these kids or these animatronics want their new friend.
So I guess gotta stop and say, have you ever talked to a cop about discharging their taser?
No.
The paperwork involved in that is
Well,
horrendous.
good thing he's not a cop.
Well, where do you think he got the taser from, though?
Well, that's her problem.
Like,
okay, so this is the scene where the ducky is about to set up that whole death trap claw thing that snap the broomstick like nothing,
Yeah.
and they're gonna put the little girl, in it.
I don't understand the change. Like, why were they playing with her and now they don't want to kill her?
Well, they want to suck her in and make her. And she's got such a kind heart.
There was a missed opportunity here too. Like, you could have had one of the possessed animatronics be their brother.
I thought for sure that's where we were going.
Like, that could have been.
I thought it was the cupcake. Personally, it's the cupcake.
The cupcake's too fucking evil to be their brother. The cupcake's the worst of the bunch.
Well, yeah, but that's because it doesn't have its conscious entity figured out yet, or whatever. I don't know.
I almost thought that the yellow rabbit was going to be revealed to be him. I don't like the reveal of the yellow rabbit that we ended up getting.
I'm not a fan of we're going to destroy electronics with electricity either. I mean, it's just like, why doesn't one of them realize that what's his name?
The security
Jarvis. It's just like, the suit has been charged to 400%. Oh, well, let's charge it right back at him. It's just like, what? I don't know. I don't know. Electronics kind of live off that stuff, right? I don't know. I like the feet, but it.
So it's a circuitry. Like, some circuitry can't handle too high a voltage.
Yeah,
right?
I know. You get into voltage, ohms, amps, all that shit.
So there is some stuff to that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but it's.
I'd imagine the giant circuit boards on these things is probably not a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like this type of animatronic stuff. Oh,
okay. This thing's creepy as fuck.
Oh, I agree.
The yellow rabbit.
Oh yeah, the big yellow rabbit. Yeah,
that is.
But its posture and everything is completely different, so it's not animatronic.
Like, I don't.
And it's super strong too.
I don't really understand. Like, is it supposed to be like a super suit? Because it didn't really feel like it was supposed to be a super suit. This is like the Iron Man of horror movies, or the Batman of horror movies, depending on.
Well, Batman's not known for a super suit. His just protects.
Okay, is he the Ben Affleck Batman of horror movies?
Oh, you mean?
Sorry, Mike.
Oh, yeah, there's so many animatronic Batman suits in the comics. Yeah, you just want to choose the one you. So I mean,
okay. He's the Iron Man of horror movies. Okay.
No, because it's just like that was a lazy kick for choreography. There's a bit of my art just getting all grumpy on that one too. Yeah.
So at least we got to give Matthew Lillard credit. He's creepy as fuck in that mask.
Oh, he's really creepy, and I think this is one of the actors' missed opportunities. Like he did really well in there. He's doing that, but I think he's so trapped into Scooby Doo and this little stuff he's done that nobody's ever given him an opportunity to explore
Mm-hmm.
his real abilities, because right now he is in the zone, and I know that zone. It's a favorite emotion, or emotion you lived with a lot in your life, and you get to deal with this anger, and and I think he plays this so well, and I think somebody needed to push him somewhere else for the diversity factor. But
I'd love to see a movie where he gets to be like he's in the beginning and now he's at the end here
why is he in this clock cage thing?
because he's an idiot.
And now it's killing him.
I'm gonna build this death trap that I'm going to go inside of.
I don't get this. It all falls apart here. It really does. Okay, let's backtrack here. We just seen the little girl decide that at this point, I'm going to go to the wall, draw something, and change reality, which makes no sense up until that point.
That's Deus Ex Machina, which means like it's the Eagles from Lord of the Rings. You need to get across something. You need something to solve a problem that you've painted yourself in a box to. This is it.
And we have no exposition, explanation, or whatever. So
There was probably totally unnecessary. They probably could have just got by with their wits and hard work, and just accomplished the same thing. But
let's go on. So she changed it. All of a sudden, now the big rabbit has the claw thing, and as he's dying, these things are digging into his ribs. He quickly puts his helmet back on, the hat back on. So now he's wearing the big bunny hat.
But I think
and they're dragging him out, and the building's falling apart.
Doesn't he say something like, this won't kill me, or something along that lines? I don't know.
I don't know either.
He Jason Voorhees the hell out of it at the end there. It's like,
and then everybody's running.
I'm dying. I'm not going to die.
And they pick up the girl, the cop who went against her dad. Turns out it's her dad. Spoiler. Sorry, it's the other way around. Spoiler. It's her dad. I don't know.
Shocker.
Yeah, and they're bringing her. Now she's in a coma. But they all ran out of that building as it collapsed, like Indiana Jones or something. And now
Indiana Jones looked cool when they did it.
Well, I don't know. And now she's in a coma with a sleep apnea machine on her face. I don't know what the hell that is. She's got no wires
so you're
or
technically
connecting
correct.
to her.
They are probably feeding air into her, which is what a sleep apnea machine does.
I know. I got it. I use one at home. But there's there's a wire connected to her. She looks pristine and clean, and she's like, okay, you're just in a mild coma. And she still loves her friends.
Oh, God, I didn't notice that picture on the fridge till now.
Oh, yeah.
I would not let that on my fridge. Like, no, those things just tried to fucking murder
Oh,
us.
and now what's she doing? Can we go back and visit my friends? Are you fucking kidding?
Fuck no. No! So, Mike, it's that
God,
time.
she's cute.
Yeah, thank God she's cute, eh?
Oh, my God.
What genre are we considering this movie? So it's that time.
Oh.
We gotta talk about it.
What genre is it?
Yeah.
It's bad genre. It's just bad.
Oh, look, he's gonna be like, I'm still alive.
Oh, yeah. You can live forever. Oh, let's do that. Oh, my God. I'm not done yet. You can body slam me, but there's still oh. Okay.
Hopefully no one ever comes to that building ever again because it's collapsed.
So here's my prediction is these kids are going to manipulate him, and they're going to be looking for a new kid to be friends with, and that's going to be an ongoing series.
God,
they're going to seek people out with little siblings.
I know they're going to make another one of these, but
yeah. And Lillard's going to be looking for revenge, and let's make it when the girl grows up. And she has a boyfriend and a little sister.
They're not going to wait that long.
How old is she in this? What, 8?
Yeah, they're going to make one next year or something like that.
Oh, yeah, but they'll age her up into, Well, here's a YouTuber, you said.
I don't think I watched this part. Oh, I did watch that
part. Yeah, so one of these jump scares with that little thing, and I thought, okay, that was good at the beginning, and then they did it again, and it's just like, okay. and then we're doing it at the end.
I'm sure he begged for that scene.
Oh yeah, it's a horror. You have to put it in a horror.
It's not a drama.
There's dramatic elements with.
It could have been a drama, but it wasn't a drama.
No, they wanted to touch on that, and they wanted to slip into it, and I wish they would have. And I think you and I could, if they would have gave us the final edit, I think we could have done something with it. You know, like you say, hide the monsters till the end. Nothing but shadows. Focus more on these kids, more on the dream element with a Freddy Krueger dynamic type thing.
I think you would have been better served to get rid of the dream element, or like make that a whole thing in the beginning instead of the animatronics. Like
it could be. I mean, if you would have got rid of the whole dream thing, you would have hit a more hardcore base level horror. You know, like no one ever has dramatic whatever in Freddy Krueger or
it didn't need the connection back. Like, oh, I've got this trauma from my brother, and maybe that's why I don't like the dream stuff as much as you do. Like,
do you think if they would have hit that, they would have made it more of a thriller and kind of a, I don't know.
There was a good movie in the dream stuff.
Yes,
but I know I've stated it before. I don't think it belonged to this movie. I think it belonged in its own movie, where they had.
But then where would the suspense and the horror come from that? I mean, like I say, I'm looking for something a little deeper, and I know horror movies typically don't really, like I love John Wick because it doesn't go too deeper.
Yeah, John Wick is very,
and I think
gun porn. That's what John Wick is, gun porn.
More or less, and the best of it.
No, Steven Seagal.
No. Ask Leguizamo about him. Anyway, no, I think that they had elements of something there, and they didn't play. They stayed away to commit too much to anything. They didn't want to commit to anything. They kind of threw something at the dartboard, but they put the dartboard on the floor, so everything kind of stuck there, and they just kind of, yeah. So I don't know.
I would put it in the horror.
Yeah.
But I guess because it doesn't really fit anywhere else. We don't have a bad section in the movie rental store, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think.
And like it's not even bad for the sake of being bad. There's some movies that are so bad they're enjoyable, and like this is just kind of.
Yeah, no, it doesn't hit that.
It's I don't want to say shockingly bland, but like it's kind of it's a little blander than I was expecting.
Who's the director? Was that the director?
Yeah, I think that was the director.
Okay.
We're getting into the special features here, Mike. Let's not get that carried away.
No, I gotta blame the majority of the problem on the director and the writer, whoever those two are, didn't cohesively get together.
The movie exists because the video game was popular.
Yeah, and
it wasn't because someone had a great story to tell. It exists because
some video games have great stories to tell. But
the Mario movie, I've had to watch that like several times this year, has surprisingly a lot of heart in it. Doesn't have like the world's greatest story.
Well, yeah, Mario as a character in Nintendo has such a long history. That's all it has, and it's just like it. To me, it's just like, okay, if I got to hear something again and again, it's like Mario. Yeah, and it's just like the Beatles. It's just like, I've listened to classic rock now for going on consciously for 35 years. It's fine. I'm tired of it.
I heard classic rock is now the oldies.
I don't care what you want to call it. I'm sick and tired of it.
Now Nirvana and Pearl Jam is classic rock.
Oh, okay.
Which
makes
me feel like a skeleton. 80s is
classic rock now.
90s.
80s and 90s is classic rock?
Yes. And 70s.
Because 70s and 60s are oldies now. Then.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think anything made before that, people don't acknowledge exists.
Like Glenn Miller?
Yeah! Love me some Glenn Miller.
Lawrence Welk?
Bobby Darin.
Did you ever watch Lawrence Welk show? No, you're too
too
young for that.
for me.
Oh my god, it was just like you'd be in our 3 channels on our black and white TV as a small kid. We'd hear that show, and it'd be like this massive fight to get to the TV to turn the channel.
The kids don't know what having 3 channels is, okay? Like,
No.
nor what it's like to have a black and white TV.
Oh my god! Okay, I gotta do this before we our final thoughts. I follow his TikTok, and it's a Gen Xer and his daughter. His daughter looks like she's about, I think she's like 18 or 19. She's talking about a OnlyFans thing, but she behaves like a 12-year-old, and he looks. Turns out he's 42, but oh my god, he's trying to teach her things that happened when he was a kid. Like, what is ASL? In the early days, back in the early days of internet, you go to a chat room. ASL.
I don't know what ASL is.
I'm 54M cameras.
Age, sex,
location.
yeah.
And her problem was, what the hell does that tell you? What do you mean? What is it? I'd rather know their favorite cookie and this and it's like, you are so in trouble, young lady. My God. I mean, age, sex, and location. Even if you're a catfish, at least I don't want to talk to you because you're, a 50-year-old man, and I'm like an 18-year-old.
Is that still a term used anymore, catfish?
No, they don't. Oh, catfish?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
I feel like that's no longer.
No, they still use it. I was watching
It's probably worse than it's ever been.
Oh yeah, no. There's a YouTube channel called Jubilee, and they do all this social experiments where it's like middle ground, like black conservative against white liberals, and they try to have them have conversations where they come together in the middle ground. And
I have seen that.
And they had one the other day where it was just like ranking the catfish by how much money they make. And Alex says,
"What?"
Well, yeah. So they had these like 5 people, and this one skinny white blonde-haired catfish dude was making $20K a month.
First off,
by catfishing.
Why are you bringing on a fucking catfish? Because
and it worked down to some of these women that are making $500 a month, $1,000 a month on catfish, and it's just like, why are we promoting this?
Yeah, they're like the worst of the worst.
But this is the new Gen Z. They're more accepting to, life is just what it is. Okay. No, that's going to get me
some of that stuff's disgusting to me.
Okay.
Not to sound like an old man.
No, it is. No, I mean, kids don't know the meaning of seriousness today. That's what I'm saying. They don't understand the pragmatism of life. Goddamn kids! Oh yeah, go to hell! Get off my lawn! Whatever.
I have a firm philosophy. Life's a joke. You may
Only
as well
if I
laugh.
take a pill. Sorry. What?
So life's a joke. May as well laugh.
Oh, okay. I can't do that.
Only if you can take a pill, eh?
God,
you're old. God, you're old, Mike.
Yeah.
So anyway, final thoughts on FNAF, as the Gen Zers like to call it.
FNAF? Is that what they're calling?
FNAF, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I must have heard that terminology like 20 times watching this movie.
Final thoughts. I'm sorry, I didn't really enjoy it. There was elements that I wanted to enjoy, and I know I told Corey that I wanted to dislike something to argue with you guys, and
you picked the wrong guy to
and
do this
and we got it, and we got what I wanted, and you're not here.
Cowards!
And it is not cowards, both of you. And it is not because of spite or anything else. I just didn't get into it. If I had a horror-based fan system in me, maybe between Matthew Lillard and his history, I might have been able to get into it. But just from a storytelling standpoint, I couldn't get into it. I like Josh Hutcherson, and
let's break it down into a ranking, like movie quality, and then your likability.
Oh, likability is 2, 2 out of 10. as quality of a movie, I'll give it. There were elements about it that I found interesting. I'll give it a 3.
Is that out of 10 or is that out of 5?
Out of 10. Out of 10. Out of 10.
I would give it a higher quality than that.
Well, okay.
Like
I didn't.
The production value is higher than a 3.
Yeah. Okay. The animatronics, I didn't care for the presentation of them. Some of the shots, the angle. Oh, you know what? I will give it more than that. I'll give it a. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 10.
See, that seems fair.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
I've been really wavering on this because I feel like it's a Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it's not fun enough to, or not a Raiders of the Lost Ark. Temple of Doom. I feel like I meant Temple of Doom.
Okay. What?
But it's not fun enough to be a Temple of Doom. But I don't want to give it a Kingdom of the Crystal Skull either. Like, I don't think it's as terrible as a Kingdom of the Crystal Skull ranking. I almost got to make, like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a Dial of Destiny. That's what I'm giving it.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you. I think your assessment is still a little gracious.
I don't think it's quite a Kingdom of Crystal. What I was thinking about doing, I was going to actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a Kingdom of Crystal Skull and 3/4 of a Temple of Doom.
That I could get behind. I could understand that.
That's like a 1.45.
Yeah. I could get that, but Dial of Destiny's better than that. So I think
I haven't figured out where Dial of Destiny falls in my ranking yet.
As for
I was thinking about putting it between Temple and Kingdom, but it actually doesn't belong there.
For me, it's in between Temple and Crusade, because I think
that's a much more gracious. Oh, see, I
know you like Temple.
I love Temple.
Yeah, so I don't care for it, but I mean, it wasn't poorly done by no means as far as Indiana Jones goes. But I also thought Dial of Destiny. I went in there thinking, so far, how far have they fallen? And they actually picked them up, and I was actually mildly impressed with what they did with Dial of Destiny. Not as good as Crusade, obviously, but I thought it was on par or better than Temple of Doom.
I got a soft spot for Temple of Doom. It's probably an unwarranted soft spot, but I've got a soft spot. Okay, well, yeah. Corey, Laura, we miss you guys.
Yeah.
Like, follow, share on Instagram.
Yeah, and just a heads up on anybody that's interested, what Infinite Imagination is doing, just out of curiosity. We're looking to do some Shakespeare for Midsummer's Night Dream. We're seeing if we can get together and do the Rocky Horror Show and other stuff too. So, cheers, everyone.
I was quite surprised when I seen that about the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I'm not going to lie. I was just like, oh, you're going to the Shakespeare thing. And I think you touched on Rocky Horror slightly, but I guess didn't think that was going to be where you were going this year.
Well, it's one of those things that our group needs to do things that other people don't want to or can't. So when the Camrose Pride community contacted me, I thought that would be a great people to do it for and set them up. I mean, I've seen the show, and I think, it may not be my kind of thing, but it's somebody's kind of thing. And if we can facilitate other people's enjoyment through stuff that maybe I don't care for, but you do, I think that's a cool thing. And so we're going to go with that.
I think teaming up with the Pride community is actually like great for that movie.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect marriage of groups.
That's right.
Advisory. Flushable wipes are not flushable.
How do you feel about Q-tips?
In the toilet?
Yeah.
Don't do it. They're not as bad as flushable wipes, but Q-tips in the toilet, don't do it. tampons, none of that stuff.
Okay.
Does not belong in the toilet, people. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't need to clean the sewage out of your basement. Okay. Well, with that note, good night, Mike.
Sayonara.
Is that it?